Spoke a lot about last season about the planning that went in, the hard work that went in, and setting achievable goals along the way. For this season, I mean, how do you top what was just an incredible season?
Well, I think everything is it's outcome driven. It's process. It's all about our process. So, we know that part of the thing we set our goal again of top 6, and then and we go about working to get to there, and then we reset our goals as we go further. We're like all the other 11 teams here. Everyone wants to win it, and that's without a doubt. There's no doubt we want to be one of the other teams to do it, but. It's like business as usual. We go back, and at the end of the start of this season, I put the trophy at the front of the room, and we just discussed that it's just a symbol of the work that we did, and if we have any hope of trying to replicate that, we need to go back to that quality of work and make sure it goes to another level.
Sometimes it's same season, different day, but every season has a different challenge. You've obviously got a challenge now of trying to replace Kurt McQuilkin. Can you talk to us a little bit about his contribution to Leinster rugby over the years?
Kurt, yeah. When I left school, Kurt was playing with Leinster at that stage. When I started off my Leinster career as a 19-year-old, he was the Leinster captain then at that point. I've known Kurt a long time. He was somebody who's very passionate about Leinster rugby. When Leinster won the first Heineken Cup in 2009, he was very much part and played a huge role, I suppose, in what the team were trying to set out. Very passionate guy about the team and the club, and really keen on the work I suppose that he does with players on an individual basis, making sure that they can be as good as they can be in terms of a defensive part of their game. So, yeah, he's a guy we'll miss. Obviously our thoughts are with him and his family in particular. Obviously he's gone back. It's a challenging period for him at the moment, but we wish him the best, and he'll definitely leave a big void.
Playing on several different fronts, was that sort of behind the thinking of the dual captaincy?
Yeah, plus a couple of other things. We wanted to make sure that we just didn't rely on one person at the top. The landscape changes rapidly from week to week in this competition. You've got to manage players' minutes. So having a shared captaincy model allows us to be flexible. One of the pluses we also have is there's a lot of players just under Rob and Trimby that are exceptional in terms of what they can provide in leadership. So at any given time, if those players aren't there, we know someone can step up to the ranks and take over the captaincy on any given week. So we've tried to flatten the structure a little bit rather than just have one guy at the top and everyone follows. We've got a couple of guys who are going to lead us. They've got a huge respect amongst the team and people in Ulster. And I know the boys will do everything to make sure that they can perform at their best.
You're ensconced in Munster. How are you settling in?
It's been 8 weeks now. We're all settled. The family is good. The wife, children are all settled. School start next week. So then the children is off to school. We're going into the competition. So it was almost a little bit after week 7, 8. We wanted to get there. We wanted to get the competition now. We've got one more warm-up match against Worcester, and then next week we're into it.
And you've got an old Munster favourite in Donegal Callahan coming back to you for the Worcester match.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got later in the season, we've got Ronan also. They're so influential, the Munster guys, wherever they go. People talk about them, and they seem to set the culture, the Munster culture. They spread it a little bit, and it's wonderful to have those guys back. I mean, there's nobody here currently when you talk about the old greats who's in different provinces now. The guys always talk of great respect, and we would have that when he come back here. It's a wonderful occasion.
You talk about the culture, and if we could reference one player in particular of yours, a fellow South African, but who's bought into Munster and Ireland, and CJ Stander, an eventful summer for him, but he's a guy who epitomises the culture that Munster rugby stand for, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's tough to go off the rails at Munster if you're outside, of course. What I've experienced in this 8 weeks, there's a great work ethic, there's a great willingness to learn, there's a great willingness to turn things around, to get it right. And it's not because of fear or failure or because they're under pressure or they're embarrassed. It's because they've got this inner drive to do better. And if you're a foreigner coming in, any player, I'm sure Jean Klein will be the same now, myself, Jacques Ninauber, if you come in here and you see our driven the players are to get it right, you'll quickly be out of sorts and find yourself not in the mainstream, because that's the way the Munster guys are. And CJ is a classic example. He's full on Munster and full on Irish now, which is wonderful. That means the culture is not a exclusive one where people can't work themselves into and get accepted. He's even been the captain now for a while, so that's a great story.